So before I answer the question about why tile and grout cleaning is important, let's talk about grout and what grout is, just to be clear. So grout is the cementitious material that's used to bind together layers of tile. So when we lay tile, we've got spaces in between which we fill with grout, and grout binds these tiles together, but also gives integrity to the floor that you put the tiles on. So that's what grout is. And why is it important to clean that grout? Well, it's important to recognize that that cementitious material is typically porous. And because of its porosity, it will absorb dirt and water and grime and eventually let bacteria grow. And so one of the most important reasons why you want to clean your tile in grout is because of the grime and bacteria that will collect. So it's a hygiene related reason. You want your floors to be hygienic and clean. The second reason is aesthetics. Obviously, when grout lines are dirty, the floor doesn't look nice, and the floors are probably one of the first impressions anyone gets of any kind of facility, whether it's a home or whether it's a commercial space. If you've got tiles and your tiles are dirty, people will notice that right away. So you want to make sure that your space is clean, and the aesthetic of clean tiles and grout lines is another important consideration. And the third consequence, or perhaps important part, but consequence of cleaning tile and grout regularly is that it extends the life of tile and grout. Well, there is the old-fashioned way, which is, and perhaps the most common way most of us do it, is you use your hands and you get on your knees and you use either chemicals or homemade concoctions to clean the grout lines, because that's where all the grime is. It takes a lot of time and it's hard work, a lot of elbow grease. That's the first way. But there are mechanical ways to clean grout as well. So you can use machines to make that job easier. And obviously the type of machine you get will depend on the type of floor that you have. Speaking of the machines that we can use to clean tile and grout, we often get the question, what kinds of machines can we use? So there are some that are available, if you will, on a retail basis. You can buy them at the regular hardware store. These are typically low power machines that have some kind of a brush on them, which can be effective for a while. If you do it regularly and often enough, it could be sufficient. But for most commercial cleaning applications, anything that's bigger than like a one bathroom, you would want to use some kind of floor buffing machine, a swing machine. Or you could even use, if you want to go further, you could use something that has steam or a pressurized hot water system to clean tiles. Those systems tend to be more driven to clean larger surfaces and are more effective in cleaning tile and grout. To use a floor machine to clean tile and grout, there are a couple of things you need to consider. One is you need to have the right set of tools with you in order to do the work, and the right kinds of chemicals. So typically, if you wanted to clean a tiled floor with a floor machine, you would want to have the following things with you. One is some kind of a brush that is aggressive enough to eat into the grout and clear the grime from the grout, while at the same time protecting the ceramic tiles, because you don't want to damage them if your brush is too aggressive. So some kind of a brush that allows you to use it on ceramic tiles but allows you to get into the grout lines. The second is a wet and dry vacuum, because you'll need to pick up the waste with something. You will need some form of chemical. Now the jury is out on this one, but there's a range of chemicals you can use. Some people advise you to use an alkaline type chemical because it doesn't affect the grout, because the grout is cementitious, as opposed to something acidic, which will typically take off a layer of the grout, and over time it can be problematic. So you don't want to use acid very often, but you could use it once in a while, because it'll take several years for you to damage the floor if you use acid occasionally. So acidic cleaners are really effective in cleaning grout lines. But alkaline cleaners can also be used. But there are also other cleaners available that are neither acidic or alkaline, but rather have other cleaning properties that can be used. Like Trouble Gone is an example of a chemical which is a neutral pH but has these magic eraser type properties where you can use it to clean tile and grout. But you need some kind of chemical, the tool I said, some kind of recovery mechanism like a vacuum cleaner, and that essentially sets you up. It would be nice also to have a mop and a bucket, because at the end you do want to rinse out the floor and make sure you've picked up all the grime and you've picked up all the chemicals that you may have put on the floor. And the process itself is one whereby you would apply the chemical first, let it dwell for 10-15 minutes as per the instructions that you'll find typically on those kinds of cleaning chemicals. And secondly, use the floor machine and the brush to agitate and really scrub the floor so all the dirt kind of comes loose, and then use the wet dry vac to pick that up. You would then follow up with a mop and bucket. Make sure you clean water, you spread it all over so it starts to kind of pick up whatever is remaining of the waste, and use your wet dry vac again to suck up that water. And use the water liberally, don't worry about it. Just suck it up all, and then you've got a clean floor. Selecting a machine to clean tile and grout really depends on your circumstance and the types of jobs you think you're going to be undertaking. I think one of the important parts to consider is tile and grout your only form of business, or is it one of the services you offer as part of another set of offerings? If it's the latter, then you want a machine that's versatile, something that can do tile and grout cleaning but can also do other things like maybe clean carpets, maybe strip wax, maybe scrub floors, polish floors. And in that case, you might want to pick a swing machine, because a swing machine gives you that range of activity that allows you to do tile and grout as well as other things, but make sure you buy the right tools for it. If your desire, on the other hand, is to be a specialist in tile and grout cleaning, then you may consider investing in a more specialized, a more sophisticated set of tools that will enable you to provide the full range of tile and grout cleaning. So not just the scrubbing and cleaning, which is very effective, but taking the next level where you could use pressurized hot water to almost steam clean the floors. And that requires a different kind of investment, a different kind of space requirement and different kind of applicability. But those are really the two kinds of things, and so it's really what the nature of your business is and whether you're focused on tile and grout or if it's one of the things you offer. And the other thing is, of course, budget, and always look at the quality of the product that you're buying. And that's a key factor. Is you can always buy cheap machines, but always look at how long they last you, how durable they are, how effective they are, what kind of reviews they have, because all those things will inform you. So it's better to spend a few $100 more and get something that's going to do the job better, faster, and more effectively.